Starting off our list today at number 10, we have she's an American. You want to know what every country has in common except for the United States? Well, apparently for some odd reason everyone hates Americans. While it's definitely rude to dislike someone based on where they're from, it still hasn't stopped people from stereotyping the actress into a certain category. When it comes to the Brits though, they have a strong dislike for Meghan, especially for this reason. Unlike the reception of the Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, who belongs to an aristocrat British family, Meghan Markle received a cold and hostile reception, not only from the public but also from the royal family. While Meghan was born in America and comes from an ordinary background, she supposedly failed to meet the conservative criterions of the Britons, and this could be one of the reasons why everyone hates her. Number 9. Twisted family history. While the British royal family tends to maintain a clean and pure image of the monarchy, mostly because they pay media outlets not to run with their stories, the press has painted them to be innocent little angels. However, we all know that's not the case, as there's a lot of darkness when it comes to the royal family history. But recently, they have been painted to look like heroes that have a close bond and relationship with their other family members. Meghan Markle, on the other hand, has more of a twisted history when it comes to her family, as her approach to having a relationship with them is very unconventional. Not only has the ex-actor broken old ties she had with her father, but her relationship with her sister is also distant and remote. That being said, her relationship with her family doesn't meet the conventional requirements of the public, as we all couldn't stand it when she used the media to embarrass her father, and in the process, the way she chose to air out her family's dirty laundry, even if they weren't getting along, it just wasn't the right thing to do. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't have to wonder what we might just cover next. Number 8. The dollar store version of Princess Diana. Since Meghan and Harry sat down for their tell-all interview with Oprah, many people have weighed in on the debate and have claimed that the Duchess has attempted to garner sympathy from viewers by pointing out that there has been a lot of similarities between her and Princess Diana. But the fact she's trying to claim that she went through exactly what Diana went through is completely wrong, because each of their stories are different, and the fact that she's trying to become Diana is just as creepy as the time she admitted she kept Diana's hair near her pregnancy test. Meghan was definitely smart with the interview, because she knew that there was no better way to get viewers to empathize with her than suggesting suffering similarities to an icon of a global dimension. But even after the interview, from time to time we see Meghan recreating Diana's looks, and every time it's made us realize that her obsession with wanting to be Diana is just a little too much. Number 7. Privileged but plays the victim. So despite Meghan being able to gain an insane amount of wealth, fame, and a high social status through her marriage to Prince Harry, Meghan Markle often still portrays herself in podcasts, documentaries, and interviews as somebody who has been treated unfairly not only by the public but also by the royal family. And with saying this, Meghan's actions can come off as incongruous to many, as a lot of people struggle throughout life without all of the resources that Meghan possesses. While it seems clear from her media output that Meghan wants to portray herself as a strong person who got to where she is through her own efforts for her fame, it was largely achieved through her marriage, and she comes across as being insecure and vindictive when she tries to garner sympathy from the public. 6. Controlling and bullying. Since the beginning, critics of Meghan Markle have consistently been accusing the Duchess of not only being controlling but also being manipulative, particularly towards her husband Harry. Whenever we've seen the two sit down for an interview, it's clear that she is the one that has a tendency to dominate the conversation, and she is constantly seeking to have the limelight all to herself. But not only that, but the staff who worked in the royal household and had to tend to Meghan have also complained about how they were bullied by Meghan, as according to a report that appeared in the Times, after emails that were written by a former Kensington Palace communication secretary named Jason Now has suggested that the Duchess has also displayed totally unacceptable behavior. In the end, Meghan would have her press team issue a statement about all the bullying allegations, and since she's been trying to play that all this was leaked in an attempt to smear her name, but I don't think any of us believe that. She's just downright mean. Number 5. Reason behind the royal split. Back in January of 2021, Meghan and Harry would jointly announce that they would be exiting from the royal family. In the process, they would also announce that they would be leaving their royal duties and privileges behind so they could be more financially independent. When the couple took to their Instagram accounts to say, "We intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and work to become financially independent while continuing to support Her Majesty the Queen, the British public began to blame the Duchess rather than looking at the reasons to what drew Meghan and Harry to make this decision and take it seriously. However, after they left the royal family, Harry and Meghan did nothing to support the Queen, and instead they started signing up for interviews, documentaries, shows, even started writing books where they aired out all of the royal secrets and problems just so they can make money. And behind it all, it's clear Meghan was behind all of these business moves, as she was the one who talked majority of the time in the interviews while Harry sat there being quiet with blank facial expressions. Number 4. Hypocritical. The Duchess of Sussex has played an active role in promoting various causes which include environmental, social, political, and anti-bullying. However, it has led to backlash in certain quarters, with some people claiming that she doesn't practice what she preaches. Examples of her alleged hypocrisy include: A. She bullied palace staff members by making them cry and quit their jobs. B. Extorting about the environment while flying around the globe in private jets. C. Claiming that she's very ordinary while spending lavishly on clothing and housings and living extravagantly. D. Gaining fame and wealth from her association with the British royal family while constantly attacking them. Meghan Markle isn't any of the things she stands for, which is honestly just sad, and it proves that we just can't trust anything she says, as the path she's on to self-destruction, and she acts like she's never even heard of King Midas, but she probably should take note from that. Number 3. Establishment. It's clear that the royal family are very much on top of the British establishment, despite their reticence to respond directly to criticism in the public. They do have an enormous amount of power at their disposal. This doesn't just consist of their own wealth and status, but also includes the resources of the nation state that they are head of. With saying that, there has always been this notion that Meghan Markle was an outsider when she married into the royal family, and because of this, she herself has even stated that she has always felt like she was never truly welcome by anyone. However, a lot of people, especially people in the UK, have automatically taken the side of the royal establishment, and this translates into expressing antipathy towards Meghan, which has left her to feel like she is David and Goliath. But it hasn't exactly always been this way, as everyone used to actually love her, including the royal family, until the bullying allegations emerged, and then after that, everything took a sharp turn and we all went on the side of the royal family. But that's just how the establishment works, right? Number 2. Social status. For someone who pushes an egalitarian agenda, Meghan Markle can seem at times to be excessively concerned with the social status of herself and her family. She seems to desire the standing that goes with being royal without wanting all the baggage that comes along with it. While Meghan has claimed that she doesn't want to be royal or have her royal duties, during interviews she has expressed how upset she is that her family wouldn't be given security, and that she was furious that when she found out her children, Archie and Lilibet, wouldn't be given royal status because the Sussexes were not working royals. Meghan's always wanted to be famous. That has been her dream from the start, and when her modeling career didn't work out, she turned to Deal or No Deal, and when that didn't work out, she turned to acting, and when her acting career turned out to be a major flop despite her role in the hit Canadian show Suits, when she found out Harry was single, she jumped on it and manipulated him into loving her, and as soon as she entered into the royal family, she got noticed and she loved every part of it, but she knew she didn't want to be forgotten, so she started to stir the pot, and that's exactly what she did to get the level of fame she has today. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Against Royal Traditions. When it comes to her style, Meghan Markle has always had a habit when it comes to breaking royal traditions. With the Duchess loving dark nail polish, collarbone bearing necklines, and pantsuits, she has caused the media to go bananas every time she has gone against royal protocols, whether it's with her outfits or with her email schedule. Inside the palace though, the narrative is totally different. One thing that has come to light in recent years is that Meghan Markle does not shy away from listening to her heart, as she has gone on to marry into the British family to making a mega exit. And because this happened, she has been heavily criticized and condemned for breaking royal traditions. While there's definitely no book on royal etiquette, Meghan has chosen to do things a little differently, and in the process, she has caused a lot of people to look down on her and criticize her for everything she does. Starting off our list today at number 10, we have leaving the royal family. So we all know living in the spotlight is never an easy thing to do, and when we saw Meghan Markle and her husband Prince Harry in 2020 release a statement informing people of their decision to step away from their roles as senior members of the royal family, we knew that this was the start of some major drama. However, apparently the couple's statements came before they even consulted or informed anyone in the clan, and in the process they even blindsided Queen Elizabeth about their departure. BBC would then report that no other member of the royal family was consulted before Harry and Meghan issued their personal statements, and that the palace was extremely disappointed. While some people were supportive of the couple's decision to build their own lives outside of the royal family, others were highly critical. And they even started to blame Meghan for causing a rift between the prince and his family. In the end, Meghan knew what she was signing up for when she joined the royal family, and if she wasn't up for the task, then she should have never married Prince Harry in the first place. Number 9. Ruin Harry's relationship with his family. Meghan Markle's narcissistic and manipulating behavior has completely destroyed Prince Harry, as after he got with the ex-actress, he totally changed. It's clear that Meghan has manipulated Harry into hating his family, and she's even caused a giant rift to form between the two families. In her attempt to ditch the royal family, she has gone up to make lies, expose secrets, and start drama just so she could get everything she ever wanted. Even Meghan's podcast and interviews being released around the same time of the anniversary of Prince Diana's passing was a little off, and it proves that she has changed Harry's mindset, as he has no courage to go up against anything she says, and he will even lie about his family in the process so it doesn't upset her, to the point Harry has become resentful and aggressive. Before Meghan entered into his life, he had an amazing relationship with King Charles, as they were both very compatible, and then she came in, destroyed it. And family's a very important thing. It always was to Harry, and Meghan knew if she wanted him by her side forever, she had to cause a rift between the family, and that's exactly what she did. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 8. Archies Controversy. For a while now, Meghan has been trying to claim that there has been several conversations from unnamed family members in the royal family that have talked about how it would be an issue if her unborn child at the time, Archie, was born with darker skin. With the claim starting back in 2021 when Harry and Meghan sat down for an interview with Oprah, Meghan would say that there was conversations about how dark his skin might be when he was born, and that their conversations were both relayed to her and Harry. However, the couple declined to reveal who was involved in these conversations because they said it would be very damaging to their appearance, and that they were also concerned at the fact when Archie was born that he wouldn't have the security or official titles. Since both have left the royal family, they have continued to claim that the family made biased opinions about Archie's skin color, and they never exactly provided proof or the names of the members of the royal family who have had these so-called conversations, so it goes on to show that their claims were a lie, and it was just used to tarnish the royal family's name. Number 7. Cheating on Harry. Back in November of 2022, it would be hinted that there may be a divorce coming for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, with the topic being the newest scandal to hit the English royal court. Soon the media would reveal that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry would be heading towards a divorce because Meghan had cheated on the prince. In Touch would then reveal that according to an inside source, Harry would be called from the school of Archie because his wife failed to pick him up at the time of pickup time. The Duke then had to put his daughter in the car and rush to retrieve his firstborn from the school. It would then be revealed that Meghan forgot to pick up her son because she was hooking up with her bodyguard. Apparently there was also a photo that was never released in which you could see Harry returning home with the 2 children and lashing out at Meghan, who ended up acting hysterical to brainwash Prince Harry by saying several times she wanted to divorce him immediately. Number 6. Being rude to palace staff. Back in January, it was clear that the bullying charges that were brought up against Meghan from the royal staff members weren't going anywhere. Inside sources would then tell Page 6 exclusively that the palace aides who quit were claiming that they were bullied by the Suits actor and that they were going to stick by their claims no matter what happened. The source would then say, "The people I spoke to are absolutely still sticking to their story, claiming that Meghan bullied them. I can't speak the truth of that, of course, because I wasn't in the same room and I haven't heard Meghan's side, but my sources still very much stick to their stories." The claims would first be brought up in 2021 after an article was posted by the Times of London that alleged the Duchess of Sussex occasionally reduced staff members to tears while she was living at Kensington Palace. The UK newspaper would then report that 2 senior members of palace staff were also bullied by Meghan to leave their jobs. I'm very concerned that the Duchess was able to bully 2 PAs out of the household in the past year. The treatment of X was totally unacceptable. The Duchess seems intent on always having someone in her sights. She is bullying Y and seeking to undermine her confidence. We've had report after report from people who have witnessed unacceptable behavior towards her. Number 5. Making Kate cry. When Meghan dropped a handful of bombshell moments in her interview with Oprah back in 2021, she would refute a tabloid story that claimed she made Catherine, who is now the Princess of Wales, cry just days before her wedding to Prince Harry. And thanks to Harry's explosive memoir Spare, we finally know all the details that went down between the two ladies. Well, that's if Harry's story is actually true. With the Daily Mail initially reporting that Meghan had offended Kate during a phone call by saying Kate had a baby brain, Page 6 would then offer a different perspective of actually what went on when that rift started. And apparently it started after Kate texted Meghan about a problem with Princess Charlotte's Flower Girl dress. Harry would then revealed that the dresses were made by Givenchy's then creator-director Claire Waite Keller, and they were made solely on everybody's measurements, but because of this it was expected that everyone's dresses would need to have some tweaks done. Meghan then told Kate she could bring Charlotte to the palace where a tailor had been hired to do the alterations for all of the dresses, but this didn't sit well with Kate as she just wanted to talk to the Duchess, as Charlotte's dress was way too big, long, and baggy. And this is when it caused the royal to bust into tears when she tried it on. Kate then said all the dresses needed to be remade just 4 days ahead of the wedding, and even had to reach out to her own designer Alexander McQueen to clear her mind about saying so, and even this designer agreed with Kate's opinion. Number 4. Brainwashing Harry. There are definitely two sides of this entire comedy saga, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry against the royal family. With some people agreeing with both Meghan and Harry, many more are now beginning to think that everything was planned by Meghan so she could accomplish everything she ever wanted in life. If you haven't caught on to what exactly I'm getting at, let me clear things up for you. It's to be famous, seriously. Media outlets such as Sky News and BBC have already dived into this topic and have provided evidence that Meghan has been planning all of this mess the whole time. And now they're convinced that all of the evidence they found proves that Prince Harry has been brainwashed by his wife in efforts to dismantle the royal family completely. At first glance, I get it. It may just be a giant conspiracy theory you believe only a tinfoil hat person would believe. However, the fact that Meghan Markle is using manipulation to control Harry even has Princess Diana's former bodyguard claiming that the prince isn't exactly acting like himself, and you can tell that he's miserable just by the way he looks. At this point, Meghan just needs to let Harry go and admit she's using him to climb the ladder. Number 3. Ruining her kids' relationship with their relatives. With Meghan and Harry running away from their royal duties and picking up their lives in another country, they have forced their children to have a failed relationship with their relatives. With Meghan and Harry not living in the UK, it suggests that their kids will never be able to develop a close relationship with their grandfather King Charles. And since they were evicted from the Frogmore cottage, they have not been offered alternative accommodations. And since they have chosen to battle with the royal family every chance they get, it suggests that they have become incredibly complicated. And if they do return to the UK, they'll be forced to stay in places that aren't secure, which could be dangerous for their well-being. With there being no news of a new counter-offer in place for the family to stay at, it suggests that the king will no longer have a tangible relationship with his 2 youngest grandchildren. And now their kids will be forced to grow up with no family, as Meghan has isolated not only from her family but Harry's family as well. Number 2. Claiming the royal family was nasty to her. In the beginning, the royal family loved and adored Meghan, but as time went on, they found her to be not quite so nice. It's also been said that both Kate and William were huge fans of the actor because of her work in the show Suits. But with Meghan claiming that she was finding it very hard for her to fit into the royal lifestyle and that everyone was in fact really rude to her, in the beginning, we all kind of felt bad for her. However, after time went on, we soon started to realize that everything she was saying really didn't have any truth to it. The royal family did nothing but try to help her fit in to their family and this new lifestyle, to the point Queen Elizabeth even had her advisor work with Meghan to help her learn royal traditions. And after that advisor quit, Queen Elizabeth did everything she could to help Meghan feel welcome, even if she didn't like her, because she didn't want to upset her grandson who was smitten with the actress. And coming in at number 1 today, for existing. Okay, this point is a little mean, but before you call me out on it, just let me explain. Like, there's a reason why Meghan Markle is one of the most hated celebrities on the planet right now, and that's because she's a hypocrite. And everything she stands for is a giant sham. She's constantly preaching about kindness, but when her father was ill, even after all the damage he caused, when he needed her the most to be by his side, she abandoned him and cut him out of her life entirely. She and her PR team then went on to bully her father and publicly humiliate him several times, despite claiming that she is anti-bullying. Not to mention she is also a humanitarian, but also has not helped her own family members struggling in poverty and abandoned most of her family members after she became famous. There's just something about her that drives us all nuts, and if she was to disappear, I mean, I think we can all agree she wouldn't be missed. Coming in number 10 today, we have Samantha Cohen. Samantha Cohen was the Queen's assistant private secretary before she moved to Kensington Palace after she was entrusted by the monarchy to prepare Meghan for life in the royal family. Originally from Australia, Miss Cohen had planned to quit Buckingham Palace back in 2018, but agreed to stay on to help Meghan navigate through her first months as a royal. Samantha was a guest at Harry and Meghan's wedding in May of 2018 and was believed to have helped play a huge role in preparing Meghan for a garden party at Buckingham Palace, which was her first appearance as the Duchess of Sussex. She left her role with the couple in October 2019 amid claims that she was experiencing extreme stress, and went on to work for the environmental charity Cool Earth before leaving the royal family. Samantha spent 18 years with the royal family and was described as being deeply committed to serving the monarchy. Jason Knauf then confirmed why Samantha had left, and she made it really clear that working for Harry and Meghan was like working for a couple of teenagers, and that they were impossible and pushed her to her limits, and that she was miserable. Number 9, Wendy Williams. Before Meghan got married or got her job on Suits, Meghan Markle applied to be on the Wendy Williams show back in 2019. Wendy would discuss Meghan's application by saying, "Meghan wanted to work here. She came here to be one of our models. We do fashion," things like that. This was before she met the man, the redhead Harry. But Meghan knows Wendy's show. Later, Wendy would say that she didn't have any sympathy for Meghan Markle after the Duchess emotionally confessed to having trouble fitting into her royal life, and that Meghan knew what she was signing up for. When Wendy shared a clip that showed Meghan saying she had no clue what getting serious with Prince Harry would mean for her future, Wendy would call out the former actress by saying, "Yes, you did. You knew exactly what you were doing," would say to the audience of her show, "And I applaud her plot action on the royal situation, but please don't try to garner sympathy from us. You knew what you were doing." Wendy then went on to say that Meghan shouldn't be surprised that the paparazzi was obsessed with her relationship as she was now a royal, and that they were not following her in Suits because no one knew who she was, and that she should have also listened to her friends before she married the prince because they were right. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in number 8, we have Katy Perry. Just before Meghan Markle and Prince Harry moved into Katy Perry's neighborhood, Katy Perry would ignite a feud when she ultimately criticized Meghan, and it would apparently cause Meghan to hold a nasty grudge. When Meghan got married to Prince Harry on May 19, 2018, she would wear a pure white boat neck gown by designer Claire Way Keller of French fashion house Givenchy. Just days after the wedding, Perry let everyone know that she wasn't a fan of the dress and that she would have done one that was more fitting. The California Girls artist then ended up comparing Meghan's dress to the Alexander McQueen dress Catherine wore just before she married Prince William in 2011. She would then say that Kate won. Despite her criticism of what Meghan wore, Katy would try to say that she did love the former Suits star. However, Meghan hasn't gotten over the small bit of criticism and holds a massive grudge over Katy Perry, so it's clear that Meghan just hates everyone who doesn't go along with what she is doing, and Katy Perry exposed that. Number 7, Candace Owens. On January 7th, American author Candace Owens would express her views on Meghan Markle after Meghan's husband started to make headlines for his book titled Spare. Just days after the couple appeared in a hit Netflix documentary, taking to Twitter, Candace would say Meghan's putting pregnancy tests next to the locks of Princess Diana's hair, plus asking for private moments at Diana's gravesite to speak to her are not things to laugh at. The author, who has more than 3 million followers, would also add that Meghan's moves were terrifyingly psychotic and manipulative actions. And she would then also note that Meghan is extremely dangerous. In past interviews back in 2021 following Meghan and Harry's interview with Oprah, Candace would claim that Meghan was lying about the royal family being racist and that Meghan was a narcissist. Candace would also claim that Meghan, when she said the royal family still had traditional ways, she disagreed and just opted to call them racist. Candace would also go on to say that you would not be able to discern just by looking at Meghan Markle that she's black, so she could claim that she had been a victim of racism, and that her and Harry were implying that everything happened to them is because of her blackness is a sickening level of scapegoating. Number 6, Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly has never been afraid to hold back on her issues with Meghan Markle, especially when it comes to the concerns the Duchess of Sussex references to Prince Harry. During an episode of Megyn Kelly's show podcast, Kelly questioned the way Meghan referred to her husband by saying, "We get it. You bagged the gorilla. Congratulations. You got the big bear. You want us all to know." The comments would then come just one day after Meghan offered a glimpse at her home life with Harry. Also during the show, she would label Meghan as a commenter and would express her irritation she has towards Markle's repeating mentions of her own podcast that she married into the British royal family. Kelly would say there seems to be no limit on their appetite for ripping on the royals, whom they owe all of their fame to, literally most of their fortune. In the past, Kelly has also frequently criticized Meghan by claiming that she is a B-list actress and Harry is thin-skinned, and she even scorned Meghan for saying that she felt objectified when serving as the briefcase girl on the NBC game show Deal or No Deal. Number 5, Jason Knauf. Jason Knauf joined Kensington Palace back in 2015 and became the communications secretary for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Known to be a trusted staffer, he was even asked to help with private letters to Meghan Markle's family. Jason was working with the royals at the time the allegations against the newspaper publisher were made, and just 2 months after Meghan asked for his feedback on the famous private letter to her father. Jason would turn his back on her and is said to be the person who submitted the bullying allegations to the HR department in October of 2018 that claimed Meghan was bullying royal staff members. The claims were raised to HR in a bid to get Buckingham Palace to protect the staff that Jason alleged were coming under pressure from the Duchess. A source would then also tell Times that Prince Harry also then pleaded with Jason not to pursue the bullying allegations. A month after reporting the allegations of bullying, Jason would hand in his notice and he would take up a job as an advisor to Prince William, and he is now the chief executive of the Cambridge's Royal Foundation. On top of the letter allegations Jason would hold against Meghan, he would also state that Meghan drove 2 of her personal assistants out of the household and undermined the confidence of the third one. Number 4, Camilla. Camilla tried to have a good relationship with Meghan Markle before her marriage to Prince Harry, and in the end, the Queen Consort found Meghan Markle to be very disrespectful. A report would then claim that she was unable to give basic advice to Meghan because of the latter's behavior. Camilla had her own reservations about Meghan Markle much before the actor and Prince Harry tied the knot. However, Camilla chose not to voice her opinion to her stepson at the time. Since the beginning, it's said that Camilla was suspicious about the Adventures from Los Angeles, and she found it really hard to believe that Meghan would sacrifice her career and independence to serve silently as a team player devoted to the monarchy. When Meghan and Harry stepped down from their royal duties, Camilla would start to refer to Meghan as a minx, because Camilla believed that Meghan was a self-seeking troublemaker whose antics would cause tears. According to palace insiders, Camilla also declared war on Meghan and even used her husband King Charles to try to stop her from becoming part of the royal family, as Camilla felt like Meghan was unfit to belong to the institution. She said Meghan has so many strikes against her and that she's unfit to become a royal. These strikes are said to include being a divorcee and a commoner, and if she had been queen at the time, she would have never allowed Meghan Meghan and Harry's union to go forward. And number 3, we have Katie Hopkins. Back in 2019, Katie Hopkins would start a scandal that got the whole country talking about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle after she made comments about the couple's decision to step down as senior members of the royal family. The Daily Mail writer and media personality made it clear that she had no respect for someone like Meghan Markle. She would then make her first of many moves to prove her distaste for Meghan when she bashed the Duchess for being addicted to her Instagram page. Katie also became very vocal when she labeled Meghan as being an American version of Kate Middleton in a budgeted Princess Diana with an Oscar-winning innocent face. Her anger would then go furious after Prince Harry started to plead for his girlfriend's privacy with the press. Katie would then go off on her rant and say, if you don't want Miss Sparkle trolled on social media, advise her to stay away from posting pictures of banana spooning on her Instagram account. Number 2, Erin Foster. If you don't know who Erin Foster is, she is a comedy performer and a writer who has a notorious history for blasting several celebrities on her Instagram page, and this includes Meghan Markle. However, the way she chose to shade Meghan Markle was actually pretty hilarious. In November 2017, Erin would post a photo of Meghan from her Deal or No Deal days, and she would caption the image by saying, "Never forget." Later, during another occasion, she would opt to post another image of Meghan holding a briefcase from the same show, and she would proceed to add an even more rude caption that read, "This briefcase is filled with my plans to be famous." Now, it's definitely no secret that Erin considers the princess to be nothing but a fame-hungry social climber, and fans probably should have listened to her when Meghan first started her sob story that showed no facts to back up her claims. And coming in number 1 today, we have Chrissy Swan. Back in 2017, when the whole world was swooning over Prince Harry and his American bride-to-be Meghan Markle, one person who was not a fan from the start of the Suits star was Australian TV personality Chrissy Swan, who admitted on Facebook that she wasn't able to warm to her future royal, when she said, "For some reason, I still haven't warmed to her." Chrissy would then go on to note that the reason she was so skeptical when it came to the former actress was because of her manner. She would then even note that she thought Meghan was just acting the whole time, and many people seem to have agreed with Chrissy's controversial position, with one fan saying, "I have reservations too. I'm not sure she loves the man as much as she loves the role." But it seems like Chrissy was right to have her suspicion, because Meghan does look like she's portraying a concocted humility of acting to gain sympathy from her followers. Coming in number 10 today, we have John Oliver. It seems like now that Meghan Markle and Harry have come out to speak their truth in their new documentary series, Meghan and Harry, a chillingly accurate clip of John Oliver warning Meghan Markle has started to resurface again. Back in 2018, Stephen Colbert would be left feeling slightly surprised when John Oliver wasn't excited about the then upcoming royal wedding between Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And 5 years later, the video is actually starting to make a lot of sense. Following the CBS special, an old late night show clip featuring John giving Meghan a persistent warning by saying, "I would not blame her if she pulled out at last minute. I don't think you need to just see the pilot episode of The Crown to get a basic sense that she might be marrying into a family that could cause some emotional complications. I mean, they're an emotionally stunted group of fundamentally flawed people doing a very silly pseudo job. That's what she's marrying into. So I hope she likes it. It's going to be weird for her." At the time of the interview, John would even note that he wouldn't even want to marry into the royal family himself. But the fact that he warned the public that she might back out, and the fact that she backed out of her royal duties, is pretty shocking. That he warned us about this and then she married into the royal family anyways. Queen Elizabeth II. Even though Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made a trip to the UK in April of 2021 to visit Queen Elizabeth, it seems like the late Majesty was still less than pleased with her grandson's wife. An inside source would even come out to say, Her Majesty believes Meghan and her publicity-obsessed antics pose a real threat to the monarchy. As she faced her final days, Elizabeth detests the self-centered newcomer for tearing tearing Harry from his family to start a new life in America. The truth is, the Hollywood life has always been Meghan's dream, and Harry is her meal ticket. It was also noted that since the beginning, the Queen has always been very suspicious of Meghan, as Meghan has never been able to accept the royal rulebook. But still, because of her grandson, the Queen gave her many chances, and she hated how the Duchess of Sussex betrayed her. It was also stated that the Queen felt like Meghan used her title to gain an ambitious career in politics, which is a big no-no for the British family. After a while, even Queen Elizabeth lost patience with Meghan, as she kept thumbing her nose at the royals, and she was letting everyone know what was happening behind the palace doors. Before the Queen passed away, she was really upset that Meghan would accuse the royals of being so cruel, uncaring, racist, and that she even had the guts to diss Prince William's wife, Kate. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in number 8, Kate Middleton. Kate Middleton will never forget how Meghan Markle treated her, but she also has no need to prolong their feud. For years, rumors have been swirling around about a row between the Princess of Wales and the Duchess of Sussex at the wedding to Prince Harry in May 2018, and ever since, the relationship between the two ladies has remained very tense, with Kate saying she found it all to be very mortifying when she heard Meghan was claiming that she actually made Meghan cry during a row over the bridesmaid dresses. Kate has never wanted any suggestion of a rift with Meghan to come out to the press, so when Meghan started circulating lies about their relationship, it was really hard for Kate to deal with, and she did everything she could to keep her feelings private. While inside sources have claimed that Kate and Meghan both have very different versions of the story, she feels like she's not in the position to respond, as she thought it was all sorted out, and now Meghan's airing out all this dirty laundry, and it's just mortifying for Kate. Number 7, Prince William. A friend of Kate Middleton has claimed that Prince William absolutely hates Meghan Markle. In an explosive interview with the Daily Beast, the unnamed friend of Princess of Wales shared just how much Prince William dislikes Meghan and blames her for his falling out with Prince Harry. The source would go on to say the family blames Meghan for it all. Really, they absolutely hate her. Basically, it's a huge disaster. The insider continued to say, growing up, the brothers were so close. They lost their mom and their dad was disengaged, so they had this incredible bond. Everyone knew it. And then Meghan came along, everyone warned him off, but he wouldn't listen, and she just ripped him away. The bond is gone, completely gone, and this film is the latest betrayal. Now William really hates them both, and the friend would state further that it was really toxic and destructive for them all at the end of the day because they were family, and that their whole family has been ruined by Meghan. Number 6, King Charles. With Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continuing to air out the royal family grievances, despite making a few attempts to repair their relationship with the royal family after the Queen's passing, the main issue at play seems to be the ongoing release of their various media projects. With Harry's book and the couple's docu-series being released, it has caused some major tensions between the royals. And Charles has been left feeling pretty betrayed when it comes to Meghan's actions. If you don't recall, during Meghan's and Harry's wedding in 2018, Meghan's father couldn't attend, so she asked Charles if he would walk her down the aisle, and he would agree to Meghan's request because he's always actually been quite fond of her in the beginning. But now he's actually just somehow bewildered. The Queen was used to handling this kind of thing, and it didn't really throw her as much as it's thrown Charles, and understandably, it's because his son and daughter-in-law have been saying some pretty hurtful things. That was actually just really uncalled for, especially when the royal family actually did so much for them, and they did so much to help Meghan transition into her royal duties, and she was just so ungrateful towards the whole process, and it seems like she just never wanted to learn how to follow the royal ways. Number 5, Sharon Osborne. Sharon Osborne has never been afraid to share her opinions on Harry and Meghan, although at times she has defended the couple in the past. She has even gone as far to say she felt sorry for them at one point, to make a full 180 calling out the couple for their disrespectful docu-series. Sharon is absolutely done with Meghan playing the victim, as she believes that instead, Meghan should be using her platform to raise awareness for her charity rather than the way she has been treated by the media and the royal family. Sharon will go on to say that Meghan's actions are trash, and that all she ever talks about is how she is treated poorly because of her race and how she acts. Sharon will go on to note that Meghan should instead be grateful because she has a great life, a beautiful family, and she's very much in love and needs to get a life and move on already. With every interview Meghan and Harry do, it seems like all they do is whine about how there's no positive points to any of their stories or proof to back up their stories, so for the most part, Sharon just thinks they're lying. While the press may be hard on Meghan when she came to England, they're hard on so many people, including the rest of the royal family. Number 4. Jeremy Clarkson. Back in December, Jeremy Clarkson would publish a very misogynistic article about Meghan in The Sun, where he wrote that he hated the Duchess of Sussex on a cellular level. In the article, Jeremy would reference a famous scene from Game of Thrones where he wrote, "At night, I'm unable to sleep as I lie there grinding my teeth and dreaming of the day when Meghan Markle is made to parade naked through the streets of every town in Britain while the crowds chant shame and throw lumps of excrement at her." In a tweet published after the article was released, Jeremy would call it a clumsy reference to the scene in Games of Thrones and acknowledge that it had gone down badly with a number of different people. Jeremy would then say, "I was horrified to cause so much hurt and I shall be more careful in the future." His article would come with the release of Meghan and Harry's Netflix docuseries, in which the couple would open up about the social media threats they received in recent years. Jeremy's article would then spark near immediate backlash from Brits as Jeremy let his feelings about Meghan and Harry loose. Number 3. Howard Stern. US radio host Howard Stern has slammed both Prince Harry and Meghan Markle over their new docu-series, branding them as whiny bees. When the first 3 episodes arrived on the Netflix platform, it would feature revelations about everything from the couple's first date, Princess Diana, and supposed racism in the UK. However, Howard was clearly not impressed with the series and he would criticize the pair, saying, "The show is very weird for two people who have historically pleaded for privacy." The couple who stepped away as royals have been able to retain their royal titles, and they have consistently issued statements arguing privacy was not the reason they quit the royal family. Stern would then question the motivation behind the series, which he described as being like watching the Kardashians, except it was boring to watch. Howard would say, "It's been painful. I wouldn't stay with it, but my wife wants to watch it. You know, we have shows that we watch, but they come off like such whiny bees. I gotta tell you, I just don't get it. There's nothing real about the relationship from the beginning to end. Those two whining about wah, and they don't like me, and she wants to be beloved in this country. Man, oh man. It's just very weird to watch two people screaming. We wanted our privacy. We wanted the press to leave us alone. But then we saw them all release everything about their lives on Netflix, so Howard, I personally just don't get it either." Number 2. Piers Morgan. Meghan Markle has been dubbed as being manipulative and controlling by Piers Morgan, who slammed the Duchess after the prince addressed the United Nations on Nelson Mandela Day. In his opinion, the Good Morning Britain would claim that Meghan was doing everything she could to socially climb the ladder, and it's clear that she is actually a ridiculous, two-faced sham. The brutal takedown from Piers would come right after Meghan won her bombshell privacy legal battle with the publisher of the Mail over a letter she wrote to her estranged father. Meghan has previously won the case, but gained a second victory after the publisher fought for an appeal in the case. Well, Meghan described it not only being a victory for her, but for anyone who felt scared to stand up for what's right. In a powerful statement afterwards, throughout the privacy case, there had been a number of bombshell moments from the news that Meghan drafted the letter to her dad knowing that it could be leaked. However, Piers would hit back at Meghan's claims and he would mock her for impersonating some kind of letter day Winston Churchill rallying a nation in wartime, rather than an unemployed actress fleecing her unelected marital royal status for gazillions from her California mansion. Number 1. Bethany Frankel. Bethany Frankel is always doubling down on her criticism of Meghan Markle as she claims that Meghan has painted herself into a corner following her royal exit. Bethany has said, "Timing is everything. Don't believe you owe BS. And play chess, not checkers." Bethany has also claimed that Meghan caused herself to be in a terrible situation when she and Prince Harry stepped down from their senior royal duties in 2020, and that she effed it all up when it came to her whole life outside of the royal bubble. Bethany would also note that Meghan is a polarizing person, and that we shouldn't get it twisted, as Meghan is very much like a housewife and she can't stop talking about very things she wants to be, and that is to be irrelevant. Bethany would also state when Meghan left the royal family, she should have learned something. And that's if she wanted to leave the royal family, she should have just left the royal family, but instead we see her talking about the royal family in every single interview. But she never wanted to participate in the royal family game until she left the royal family and made it her own game. It honestly takes more energy not to forgive, but Meghan continues to hold on to her judges and expose the royal family in very condescending ways. Coming in number 10, we have the raunchy car scene from Beverly Hills 90210. If there was one scene Harry wished he never saw, it would be the one that came 2 years after Meghan Markle left her Deal or No Deal gig. She would make a cameo in the hit series Beverly Hills 90210 for a pretty raunchy car scene with a high school hunk. When the former actress appeared in the premiere episode of the Beverly Hills 90210 reboot, which aired in 2008, her character was caught getting frisky in the front seat of a car with co-star Dustin Milligan, who played Ethan. Her character Wendy and Ethan were seen enjoying their intimate moment in broad daylight before being caught by Annie Wilson, who played Shanae Grimes. Annie is particularly shocked as Ethan already has a girlfriend, Naomi Clark, who is played by Annalyn McCord. Since the clip has resurfaced, many people have been calling Markle a hypocrite as she left one bimbo gig for another. Markle was reportedly hesitant to reenact the scene for the role, but despite wanting a career that didn't objectify women years earlier, she would book the gig anyways. Markle would then claim that she quit Deal or No Deal in 2006 because she didn't like being objectified by sucking in her stomach and wearing fake lashes and hair extensions. Meghan alleged her experience has since caused an uproar over her treatment, as that's TV. What did you think was going to happen? You know, that's what the show was, and that's probably why Harry is having a hard time after watching these scenes. Number 9. The bedroom scene in Random Encounters. One of the scenes Harry wasn't so particular about when it came to Meghan's former acting career would come years earlier before her relationship with Prince Harry, and it would actually be the role that thrusted her into the spotlight. The role in question was when Meghan was given the part in a little-known film called Random Encounters. The scenes from the 2013 rom-com show featured Meghan being shown slipping into silky lingerie, and then she would be seen having an intimate moment with a male co-star. While in character, Meghan would then be set to play Mindy, who was known to be a bed-hopping party girl. In one particular raunchy scene, Meghan could be seen undressing her co-star Michael as her character was trying to make a move in the dimly lit apartment. After the show was first released in the US, the movie would then be released on DVD in the UK for the first time in May of 2018, less than 2 weeks before Meghan was set to marry Prince Harry on their wedding day. Well, I can only guess this was when Harry first watched the scene. This doesn't throw you red flags that maybe you shouldn't be marrying someone, then I don't know what else to say. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming number 8, we have Meghan cheating. So back in November, the tabloids report that a divorce may be headed towards Prince Harry and Meghan Markle shortly. However, considering that the two enjoy being miserable together, it seems pretty unlikely at this point. The new scandal at the English royal court would reveal that Harry would receive a call from Archie's school after his wife hadn't shown up to pick him up. Meghan apparently forgot about Archie because she was too busy doing something else with her bodyguard, Chris Sanchez. And the incident would leave Prince Harry furious, at least. Soon there would then be also a photo which has not been released yet, and the photo, sources would say, you could see Prince Harry, who had just returned home with his 2 children, lashing out at Meghan, who was hysterical and would say several times that she wanted to divorce him immediately. And while this could just be a rumor, it's kind of hard to believe that the story isn't true, since she once cheated on Canadian chef Corey Vitiello and wouldn't even break up with him until after news outlets reported that she was dating Prince Harry. So I'll let you do the math and decide if Meghan really cheated or not. Number 7, the steamy kiss with her colleague in Suits. Now before Meghan got with Prince Harry, she got her first big role in the show Suits. And while it may have been a big role for the actress, many still don't know what Suits is because let's face it, the show was filmed in Canada Canada, and many people just don't like Canadian films, even though some of them are actually fire. Meghan played paralegal Rachel Zane on the show for 7 seasons from 2011 to 2018, and during the years on the show, the actress was involved in some pretty very steamy scenes that definitely did not sit well with Prince Harry, and I can see why he wished he never googled his wife in the first place to find her secrets. To kick things off, Rachel and her co-star in the 2nd season. Rachel would share a steamy kiss with her colleague Mike Ross, who is played by Patrick J. Adams. The pair were fully aware he was in a relationship with Jenny Griffiths at the time, who happened to be the ex-girlfriend of Mike's old best friend. But that didn't stop Rachel from leaning in for a passionate snog, which happened in a brief look in the eye and an arm grab. Now, fans watching wouldn't be particularly surprised by the kiss, as Mike and Rachel had a bunch of steamy moments that gave old fans this hint that the two were going to jump into a relationship at some point. Number 6, daddy issues. Since finding out about Meghan's daddy issues, Prince Harry has been blaming himself, as he feels like he's the reason why Meghan Markle no longer has a relationship with her father, Thomas Markle. In the Harry and Meghan Netflix docu-series, Harry would say, "Of course, it's incredibly sad what happened. She had a father before this, now she doesn't have a father. I shouldered that, because if Meg wasn't with me, then her dad would still be her dad." It's amazing what people will do when offered a huge amount of money, $50,000, $100,000, to hand over photographs to create a story. Thank God, most of them said no. After Thomas originally made headlines in 2018, he ultimately didn't attend his daughter's wedding, and just days before the ceremony, he would announce that he was unable to fly to England to attend. Following Harry and Meghan's big move to the United States, the former actress would then also know that she lost her father after becoming a royal, as her father had the inability to tell her the truth about the paparazzi photos. Finding out about Meghan's broken relationship with her family definitely had a huge impact on Harry, as he feels responsible that he is the reason behind her family icing her out, and it's been a huge impact for him to deal with. Number 5, the X-rated romp in the office scenes in Suits. When Mike Ross and Rachel Zane finally had their first official date on Suits, it would end up with the two having a pretty sizzling moment in Pearson Hardman Legal Library, where Mike strips Rachel down to her underwear in the throes of passion. Meghan's and Patrick J. Adams' characters stripped off as they got hot and sweaty in the most raunchy scene during the 2nd season. The sizzling scene in episode 16 was probably one of the most iconic moments in Suits, as it was the moment we all were waiting for. And I understandably can see why maybe Harry wanted to never see this scene personally, because the chemistry in this scene alone was enough to send any partner into a frenzy of worry that there was something happening, not just on screen, but there might have been something happening behind the screen as well. The scene was so saucy, it was probably one of the most widely shared clips of the series, and it would be unearthed once again after Meghan and Harry started dating, as no one really wanted to believe Meghan would end up with anyone other than Patrick. That's probably why a lot of fans didn't support her relationship with Harry to begin with. Number 4, Family Feud. The humiliation for Meghan and Harry really started after Meghan started to speak against the royal family, and at this point it seems like Harry would just do anything to forget Meghan even started the battle with his family in the first place. If Meghan never told Harry that she was fighting with his family or having a tough time, they would probably still be in the royal family doing their royal duties, but instead, now they're being iced out completely. At the height of their feud with the royal family, they have unleashed almost all their darkest secrets, and their Netflix documentary has been described as being a great betrayal. With the two playing a part to gain sympathy, what we really ended up witnessing is a narcissistic, egotistical, privileged outpouring of a couple that is bent on getting revenge. Shamefully, it seems like Meghan has cornered Prince Harry to throw his brother, father, and even his grandmother under a big red double-decker bus just so he can make his wife happy. However, it's clear that Harry is miserable and he just wants his family back. In Harry's new book, he would speak about various incidents and issues that he perceived that have caused the irreparable relationship between his father, brother, him, and Meghan. Because of Meghan, Harry has turned his family life into an episode of The Kardashians. While Harry may want his family back, if Meghan never told him how she felt about his family, he probably wouldn't be in the situation he is today, and he would still be in their lives. But Americans make things so dramatic for no reason whatsoever. Coming in number 3, we have the sizzling scene in the bedroom in Suits. In the early days of Meghan's relationship, Harry definitely made the worst mistake of all when he looked up one particularly sizzling scene in the bedroom from the show Suits. The scene would scare Harry so much that he even made a joke that he needed to undergo electric shock therapy just to burn the images from his brain. It's clear that Meghan and Patrick, during any of the scenes, they had passionate and a playful time together. And while it's been said that Harry lusted over her for 2 years before they actually met, as he was a big fan of the show, imagine dating someone who had such a powerful connection with their co-star. In this particular saucy scene from the hit series Suits, Mike and Rachel spiced things up in the bedroom when Mike began to run his fingers up Meghan's leg before the pair playfully slipped under the sheets in a suggestive manner. It really didn't take two to figure out what was actually going on. However, before things got a little too racy, the actress stopped him and the pair just began flirting and kissing. Rachel's love story with Mike has been a big draw for fans across all 7 seasons she was on the show for, and it was a long road that was filled with drama and emotion. Every snog left us all memorized, and as the show went on, the two just turned up their flirty banter and neck kisses, and just the cheeky charm alone was enough to make anyone's heart flutter. Number 2, mental health struggles. One thing has been clear is Prince Harry really wishes his wife didn't tell him about her mental health struggles because he really didn't know how to deal with it. In Volume 2, Episode 4 in the Netflix docuseries Harry and Meghan, the Duchess would recall having some really dark thoughts surrounding her life while at the height of her tensions with the rest of the royal family, and it consists of attacks from the British press, and Prince Harry would go on to say that he wishes he could go back in time and change the way he reacted to Meghan's mental health struggles when they were still living as senior royals because he really didn't know how to help her. Meghan's depression battle would remind Harry of what he saw happen to his own mother, Princess Diana, who openly struggled with her mental health while working as a senior royal, and it upset him even more because he didn't stop it before it escalated. Harry would go on to say that he was devastated because he knew she was struggling and that he never thought it would get to that stage, and when it did get to that stage and Meghan told him about it, he just felt really angry and ashamed. While Harry has also admitted that he thought he understood Meghan's struggle, he also feels as though he was blinded by his commitment to royal duties at the time, so he didn't give Meghan the support she needed, and since the prince really hasn't been dealing with it particularly well. And number 1 today we have the passionate embrace in Suits. So the protagonist love interest Meghan played in Suits has caused her husband to discuss and express his discomfort after seeing her X-rated scenes, with Harry saying that he witnessed her and her castmate mauling each other in some sort of office or conference room. He really didn't need to see such things live. In season 5 footage from the show Suits, it would show Meghan wearing a skimpy little black slip as she engaged in a passionate embrace with her on-screen boyfriend Mike Ross. The unearthed footage would then show Meghan's character Rachel Zhang cozying up to her on-screen boyfriend Mike between the sheets. While Meghan laid in the bed wearing the skimpy black slip, she can also be seen chatting to her on-screen lover in the bed before they became entangled in a passionate embrace. With Harry's new book opening up about his life and giving new insights to the royal family, it's clear that Harry might just not trust Meghan because of her saucy scenes with her co-star, and he may be left feeling worried that his wife had feelings for another man, but it seems like he was able to get these images out of his head since Patrick, after all, was in the front row at their wedding. Coming in at number 10 today, we have they questioned the color of Archie's skin. While being pregnant is supposed to be a joyful experience, Meghan definitely had a rough time. When Prince Harry and Meghan sat down for an interview with Oprah, they would discuss what their life had looked like since they left the royal family and their royal duties behind. One of the biggest bombshells that they would drop was that some unnamed members of the royal family had made some direct racist comments in their direction. In particular, a member of the royal family even asked what the skin tone of Meghan and Harry's future child might have. While the couple did refuse to name the royal family members that made the comments, it's been speculated that it was King Charles who raised the offensive questions. In the book Brothers and Wives: Inside the Private Lives of William, Kate, Harry, and Meghan, written by Christopher Anderson, it would expose that it was actually King Charles and Camilla who were discussing the couple when Charles reportedly asked, "I wonder what the children will look like," and Camilla, being somewhat taken back by the question, she would respond by saying, "Absolutely gorgeous, I'm certain." And then Charles would then lower his voice to clarify his question by saying, "I mean, what do you think the children's complexion might be?" While Charles has continued to deny that he made the comments, he would even have a spokesperson label the book as fiction, with Harry stating that the comment was not made by the Queen or Prince Philip. It only leaves a few other senior royals who who could have actually made the comments. Number 9, sold stories to the press. In volume 2 of Harry and Meghan's Netflix docu-series, Harry didn't hold anything back when he dived deep into the challenges and complications that he and Meghan had to face while they were working as senior royals. With Harry claiming that the palace insiders were knowingly leaking stories about him and Meghan to the press, this is when Meghan and Harry would begin their plans on relocating outside of England. While the couple finally came to the decision to move to Canada, after visiting Vancouver for Christmas, after the palace okayed the move and Charles put it into writing, reports would then emerge that the couple had plans on moving to Canada, and just 5 days after that, Charles put it in writing, it was placed on the front page of a newspaper. It then became clear to Meghan and Harry at the moment that the institution was behind the leaks that they were moving back to Canada. It would also show that it was a key piece of the story that was made, highlighting the content of the letter that was only between Harry and Charles. While both Harry and Meghan were both willing to give up their royal titles, they felt like their story and their life literally got swept away from underneath them. In episode 4, Harry and Meghan would also reveal that not only was the family leaking stories, but they were also planting stories. So if the media team wanted to remove a negative story about their principal, they would then trade something else in. Hey my little peaches, are you enjoying this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 8, the miscarriage. In the 3 final episodes of Netflix series, Harry would say that William was the giant reason behind the negative stories appearing about the couple in the media, and he planted the stories that were playing across the headlines. Harry would then go on to say that he believes that the negative stories that the family planted on Meghan led to her miscarriage. Harry would then say it's a dirty game. There's leaking, but there's also planting of stories. So if the communications team wants to be able to remove a negative story about their principal, they will trade it and give you something about someone else's principal. While Meghan's mental health was deteriorating due to the stories would also have Meghan so stressed that she wasn't sleeping, so on the morning that she and Harry moved into their new home, she would find out that she miscarried her child. Harry would then add, "I believe my wife suffered a miscarriage because of what the Mail did," which referenced an article posted in 2019 that was leaked by the royal family. The Daily Mail would publish an article that leaked the contents of a letter that Meghan had sent her father. Harry would then say, "Now, do we absolutely know the miscarriage was created caused by that? Of course we don't, but bearing in mind the stress that caused lack of sleep, the timing of her pregnancy, how many weeks she was in, I can say from what I saw that the miscarriage was created by what they were trying to do to her." Number 7, racism. In the multi-part documentary, Meghan and Harry would address their experience dealing with race and racism within the royal family. Unlike the couple's Oprah interview, viewers were hoping for some more bombshell revelations. However, instead they got Harry and Meghan spending a lot of time trying to teach us about some history. In the second half of their series, they would kickstart the conversation about racism in the UK and how it contextualizes their experience as British royals, especially with the reaction of Meghan, who happens to be an American who identifies as biracial. With the couple discussing the tabloid headlines that were given to the press by the palace, they would claim that the headlines had racist tendencies, as they would describe Meghan as a gangster royalty or that she came from a crime-ridden neighborhood. Harry would also admit that he learned so much about how his family views issues with race and that there was a huge level of unconscious bias. But once it had been pointed out that the royal family still didn't care to protect Meghan, Meghan also felt like she had to wear a lot of white and beige just so she could blend in with the royal family, which only fueled the debates about whether the royal family is equipped to overseeing a rapidly diversifying commonwealth. At number 6, we have the bullying allegations. Just 5 days before Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah, the palace would claim that they were opening an investigation into bullying allegations against Meghan. In the couple's documentary, the executive director of Harry and Meghan's Archwell Foundation gave insight into the series of events and claimed it was calculated to work against the couple. Speaking on the timing of the 2 occurrences, Harry would then add, "I can't think what my mom went through all those years ago by herself. To see the institution gaslighting what happens is extraordinary. And that's why everything that happened to us was always going to happen to us, because if you speak the truth to power, that's how they respond." Harry and Meghan only brought their truth forward because they wanted to fill in the blanks on what other people were filling in for them. The couple would then claim that they were never rude, nor would they ever bully anyone, especially since Harry had to witness his mom being bullied by the press and the family for years before her passing. While the move for the palace to say Meghan was a bully seemed pretty tactical, it's kinda hard to believe that the palace bullied them, as royal staff members would come out to explain their stories and they ultimately decided to quit their roles at the palace so they wouldn't have to deal with Meghan and Harry again. And number 5, Kate made Meghan cry. With some claiming Meghan made Kate cry, others will claim that Kate made Meghan cry, with the alleged versions of the events still being in headlines after it was said that Meghan made Kate cry during a row over bridesmaid dresses. Meghan would later disagree and claim that it was actually the other way around. Meghan would say that Kate was upset about something and she later owned up to it and apologized by sending flowers to her. While Meghan would go on to explain that it wasn't a confrontation, she would also say she didn't exactly think it was fair to Kate to get into the details, as Kate had already apologized to her by buying her flowers. Meghan would then also go on to say it's kind of hard being blamed for something she didn't do, and it was actually her that cried over the incident. While Meghan wouldn't state during the interview what the two had actually had an argument over, in the docuseries it would be revealed that the two actually fought over Charlotte's dress. Recently, with the rift being brought up again, Kate has been feeling sort of mortified as she thought they worked things through, and now it's been circulating again and she feels like she isn't in a position to respond, and Harry and Meghan know that, so their claims just seem so off-sided. And number 4, William screamed at Harry. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle piled fresh criticism on British royals in their episodes on the documentary. In the series, they would even go on to accuse Harry's older brother Prince William of screaming at him during a summit that was ordered for the royal family to attend so Harry could discuss his future with the royal family. In the final 3 episodes, Harry would bring to light that William had been the reason behind the large amount of negative stories that were appearing about the couple in the media. While Harry recounted the details of the crisis summit held at the estate 2 months before him and Meghan made the final decision to leave the family, he would attend the meeting alongside the Queen, Charles, and William. Harry would even go on to say that it was terrifying to have his brother scream at him and shout at him. Harry would also note that throughout the whole meeting, his father just sat there saying things that weren't true, and Queen Elizabeth just sat there quiet and let it all go down. While Harry didn't say exactly what was said, the fact that Queen Elizabeth just sat there quiet could mean that Harry overstepped his boundaries and William and Charles were just putting him in his place to defend and support the Queen. So without knowing all the facts, it's really hard to say if William was really out of line here. And number 3, lies of protection. Shortly after Meghan and Harry decided to leave the royal family because of their relationship with William, a story would come out to say that part of the reason behind why Meghan and Harry were leaving the family is because William had bullied them out. While Harry admitted he was then made aware of the joint statement that had been issued by Kensington Palace with his and William's name on it, squashing and denying the report, Harry said no one had asked him for his permission to put the name on the statement and he couldn't believe it. After he had become aware of the statement, he said that he called Meghan to tell her what happened and all she could do was burst into tears. Harry would then go on to say within 4 hours, they were happy to lie to protect my brother, and yet for 3 years they were never willing to tell the truth to protect us. Meghan and Harry would then also claim that the royal family told the pair that if they helped them, they would make sure that Meghan would be safe from the negative headlines the press was releasing on her. However, that wouldn't be the case, and Meghan would point out that she noticed that her and Harry weren't just being thrown to the wolves, that they were actually being fed to them, as the royal family never actually wanted to protect them, and the couple, when they realized that, made the decision to leave the royal family for good. And number 2, refused to get Meghan help. During an interview with Oprah, Meghan would share that she joined the royal family and she started to have these pretty dark thoughts that made her think about taking her own life. In the heartbreaking scenes, Meghan would recall that this was the moment she realized she couldn't go on being a member of the royal family. Meghan would admit to Oprah that she was having thoughts and she reached out to the senior royal staff for help, but she was denied any type of treatment. Meghan would then say, "It was all happening just because I was breathing. I was ashamed to admit it at the time and to admit it to Harry because of how much he lost. He suffered, but I knew I didn't want to be here anymore." When it finally became a clear, constant thought, that's when Meghan admitted that she needed help. However, when she reached out for help, it would be stated that there was no help available for her. When she went to Human Resources, she said, "I need help. In my old job, there was a union that protected me. They said my heart goes out to you, but you're not a paid employee of the institution." Meghan would then reveal that she was having these dark thoughts and the only one who helped her was actually one of Princess Diana's friends. And at number 1 today, we have the palace took Meghan's passport and keys. When Meghan joined the royal family, she had to give up several personal items after marrying into the British royal family. When Meghan opened up about how she was feeling unsupported when she reached out to get help after she had struggles with her mental health, she then was feeling really ashamed to admit it, and she had a problem because it was scary to know that she was having these constant thoughts that were about her taking her own life. While the star said that she wanted to go somewhere, she was unable to do so. She couldn't just call an Uber to the palace, and when she joined the royal family. That would be the last time she saw her passport, driver's license, and keys, as she had to hand them over. Now, royal experts have shared why the palace may have done this. It's actually been proven that it's a pretty logical reason why it was most likely done. When Meghan had to hand over her driver's license, it would have been done under the security rules, as if she went out driving by herself, she wouldn't be protected. Her other documents would have been taken and kept in a safe to ensure that important documentation wouldn't be misplaced and that it would have been available if she needed it. So if she needed any of these items, all she had to do was ask for them and they would have given them to her. Starting off her list today, in the number 10 spot, we have the children. King Charles is apparently really disappointed over the fact that he won't be able to see the Duchess of Sussex or his grandchildren at his coronation next month, but is happy that Prince Harry has decided to attend. With Buckingham Palace announcing the dramatic news in a statement on Wednesday, they would say they were pleased to confirm that Harry would be in attendance, but Meghan would be staying at home with her children, especially since the coronation lands on Archie's 4th birthday. With royal experts confirming that the decision is an ideal compromise, the rest of the family seems to be a bit relieved, with the whole situation being a slap in King Charles' face since he walked her down the aisle when she got married to his younger son. It's probably just because she feels embarrassed to show her face after everything she's done to the family. With the king being happy that his youngest son will be at the Abbey, he's very disappointed that he won't see Meghan or his grandchildren, but he understands the situation. Number 9. Not attending the coronation. Meghan Markle has decided that she will be staying in California with her 2 children while Prince Harry attends King Charles' coronation next month. With Buckingham Palace announcing on April 12th that Prince Harry would be a part of the congregation inside Westminster Abbey to witness King Charles and Queen Camilla being crowned on May 6th, with Meghan most likely remaining in the US while Harry travels back to UK for the historic event. The date of Charles' coronation is also showing to be quite an awkward time for the Sussexes, as the day falls on Archie's birthday. With the prince joining more than 2,000 guests at Westminster Abbey on May 6th, it will be the first time he has been seen with the royal family since he and Meghan dropped their bombshell documentary and he published his memoir, with Harry's book vividly revealing the depth of his disagreements with other members of the royal family and how he feels different from the rest of his family. We know the coronation is going to run anything but smoothly. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never have to miss out on what we might just cover next. Number 8. Archie's birthday party. It wasn't really surprising that the palace would strike to hurt Meghan where it hurts the most after she started to run with bogus stories to ruin the family's reputation. So when the news dropped that King Charles' coronation would take place on May 6, 2023, which also happens to be on his grandson's 4th birthday party, while the decision to pick Archie's birthday has raised some eyebrows, royal author and expert Katy Nichol has said it was not a snub. However, to Meghan, she thought the gesture was a major slap to her face and she couldn't believe the royal family would do such a thing to her family. So when she finally was invited to go to the coronation, she decided she would be turning her invitation down. That way she could throw Archie a major birthday party. Meghan has become pretty salty over the issue as she was pretty much forgotten when it comes to the king's coronation, and it just happens to be a coincidence that it landed on Archie's birthday. There's been a huge amount of planning that goes into such a historic moment, and the royal calendar being so full of events and anniversaries, it was the only day it could happen, and it had nothing to do with her or Harry's beef with the family. Number 7. Mad at Harry. With the coronation landing on Archie's birthday and the fact that Meghan has started a full-on feud with the family by brainwashing her husband and making up bogus stories to sell to the press, when Buckingham Palace announced that Harry would be in fact attending the congregation, Meghan would be left fuming in disbelief over her husband's actions. Meghan can't believe that after everything she believes the royal family did to them, that Harry is still willing to attempt fixing the relationship he has with his family, and she can't believe Harry would even be missing her son's birthday party just so he can see his father be crowned as king. I mean, speak about priorities. However, with Harry going to be away from her grasp, she's mostly just mad at the fact that the royal family actually might be able to now convince Harry that the grasp she holds over him is toxic, unhealthy, and it terrifies her knowing that Harry could go to England and never come back. Number 6, Team Meghan. So if you've been keeping up with all of the coronation drama, then you know that big name celebrities have decided not to perform at the coronation. With King Charles gearing up for his coronation in May, all the big British pop stars were on the invite list, such as Adele, Harry Styles, Robbie Williams, Elton John, and of course the Spice Girls. And they've all said no thanks to their invitations. With there being speculations that the Prince of Wales has requested the Spice Girls to perform a grand performance completed with a reunion, The Sun would later report on that apparently all the members turned down that invitation. While Elton John could have just simply turned down the invitation due to his close relationship with the late Princess of Wales, Princess Diana, for other celebrities it seems like telling of stories is more important than playing at some fancy coronation. And with there being a lot of PR talks going on, it would seem like the reason many celebrities are turning away performing at the event is because they've taken Meghan Markle's side through all of this mess. Number 5, failure to make a decision. Both Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been branded as being rude over their odd behavior just ahead of King Charles's coronation, with both giving the royal family the runaround when it comes to confirming their attendance at the ceremony, a decision that has been blasted by many royal officials. When one spoke to GB News, they would tell the media outlet that the Sussexes are creating drama over their failure to make a decision. They then went on to explain that their overall behavior has even come off as quite narcissistic when the day should not be about them and it should be about celebrating the king, and that's why it's important for the couple to understand that all the attention must be on the monarchy. Harry and Meghan through all of this have just been showing the world how childish, self-centered, and self-absorbed they are, and it's actually quite shameful that they're using it as a publicity ploy by milking every move for what it's worth. Number 4, Oprah weighs in. It's not just tabloids and palace sources feeding on the speculation of Harry and Meghan attending the coronation on May 6, as we've even seen a celebrity cameo come from the couple's pal Oprah, who told CBS anchor Gayle King that they should do whatever they feel is best for them and their family. She also added that they hadn't actually asked her for her opinion on the matter. And while it has been very entertaining to watch, the coverage surrounding the coronation's guest list seems a little suspicious, particularly when you start considering the fact that it isn't really exactly dominating headlines, other than a few small details about how the celebration will be scaled down and more sustainable, meaning that there's going to be no new crowns for anyone. The only other news out of the palace has been focused on the attendance, whether Prince and Princess of Wales' children, and the fact that Meghan and Harry are claiming that their children weren't invited, so that's why Meghan isn't coming. Number 3, the pile-up. With everything being tense in the wake of the Fogmore drama, wherein Charles allegedly ordered Meghan and Harry to vacate their UK home gifted to them by the late Majesty, and the christening drama, the retaliation for that move when Harry and Meghan decided to christen their daughter on their own in California, while they were at it asserting their kids to be known as Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. And with the king's ceremony being held on the California prince's birthday, according to OK Magazine, tense negotiations are currently underway between the two parties, and the results of uncertainty have the palace drafting 2 separate schedules, one with the king's youngest son and wife in attendance, other without them. Number 2, Netflix. Ahead of the ceremony, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been warned that this is not an occasion for Netflix cameras, and they should altogether avoid the ceremony as it would show extremely poor taste if they attended with this notion. With Harry and his wife confirming that they both received an invitation to the king's coronation in May, Meghan still has not confirmed she'll be attending the historic event at Westminster Abbey on May 6. However, among all the speculation, royal commentator and broadcaster Esther Krakew has urged the Sussexes to stay away, as it's very clear they are not welcome following their rift with the royal family. Despite this, everyone is still suspecting that the couple will make an appearance just because they are not welcome, and they're going to use it as the perfect event to showcase on their Netflix docuseries. But this isn't exactly an occasion for Netflix cameras. With it being a national event, the royal family wants to keep it that way and keep the gossipy stories out of the tabloids so they can focus on what really matters. However, knowing that the only source of income for the couple relies on their stories about the royal family, if both do end up showing up, it's going to be a disaster. And coming in at number 1 today, we have the beneficial gossip. With Meghan and Harry being no strangers when it comes to courting in the spotlight, they have so much to gain from keeping all this speculation alive. For the Sussexes, the headline headline about the coronation have kept their names in circulation, and depending on the angle of coverage, it could serve to reinforce their narrative if they play their cards right. With Harry feeling like he can't attend one of the biggest days of his dad's life, he feels like he's been kept away from this so-called gilded cage that traps the rest of his family. Their attendance then becomes an act of taking the higher road, burying the drama despite the fact that Harry's memoir has significantly contributed to Charles' ever-sinking popularity. Alternatively, if you're keen on the idea of watching all the drama unfold and think the royals are responding graciously, with the couple making an attempt to steal the spotlight, we're going to see a lot of drama unfold in the weeks to come.